Hello ladies and gentlemen, today's video is going to be a bit different, but it's something I feel compelled to talk about because it's something I've been thinking about quite a lot. It's the recent assassination and murder of Charlie Kirk. Rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. My prayers go out to his family, anybody who was close to him, and anybody who's been affected by him. I'd just like to say that this story has obviously become sensationalized to some degree, and that is not my purpose for making this video. My purpose for making this video is to spread awareness and to give my thoughts and get my thoughts out on this tragedy. So Charlie was a conservative activist. He was 31 years old. He had a wife and 2 children. And one of the things he was most passionate about defending was freedom of speech and also open debate. And it's eerie how open debate is under attack, the very thing he was fighting to protect, and he has become the martyr. I think as a society, it's really worrying when we reach times where we cannot disagree and still live among each other. Political polarization and division has reached an all-time high as the people are arguably more dissatisfied than ever. They're looking more and more to politics, to governments, to parties, to legislation and to states for direction, for security, for providence. Charlie was a religious man, and seeing clips surface and go around of him and his faith and how that affected his life and his relationship with his family and things like that, it just makes it sink in how much of a tragedy this really is, and we can't reconcile that. I'm sure they're going to find out more, the investigatory team, as they continue to do their work, trying to figure out who did this, trying to narrow down motive and the suspect. But nothing's going to bring Charlie back. I think all of us who have heard this story, all of us who have been involved with this story in any way, shape or form, whether that be just seeing it online or being there in person, we all have a responsibility to change our actions going forward as a result of this. And if not to change our actions, then to reinstate the importance of being able to disagree without resorting to violence. That is a principle upon which civilization has been founded. And when we lose that, we lose the civilized aspect of civilization. There is a responsibility we all have to maintain respect and decency, even when we strongly disagree with someone. But that is becoming much more difficult, I'm seeing, in very politically enraged, fiery, passionate, and polarized settings. The opposition is demonized, is seen as evil, not just wrong, which makes it more justifiable in their own ideology for them to exterminate what they perceive as evil. And so ideology really is at the root cause of all of this. Our beliefs, our thoughts, our principles and our values echo through our actions. And so we need to really look inward. As Jesus said, take the sins of the world unto ourselves and really reflect that what this capacity is, within us to destroy what disagrees with us. Because that is something we need to tame, that is something we need to control. Because it is a serious threat to everybody on both sides of the political sphere. I just wanted to say my piece on this, and I don't have all the facts. I don't really claim to know a lot about what I'm talking about. I'm not very politically savvy. I'm not very politically aware with what's going on in America. But Charlie Kirk didn't deserve this, and that is the thought that's been ringing through my head since I found out about this story. His poor wife and children that he's left behind. The fact that he was fighting for truth, for open debate and personal responsibility and religion and common sense in a world full of delusion. It doesn't matter whether you agreed with him or not. It doesn't matter whether you liked him or not. No one should wish that upon anyone. And to see the fact that people have been celebrating this horrific tragedy is appalling. It's absolutely appalling, and these people should be ashamed of themselves. Truly. They might think what they're doing is just harmless, but it's terrible. It's fueling more of this stuff to happen in the future. But even to those people, we need to disagree without resorting to violence. But when the shoe's on the other foot, do they pay us that courtesy? We're living in dark times, man. We really are. The state's gaining more and more power, and the people are becoming more and more divided. The only thing we can do is unite as a people, regardless of our differences in opinion. And we need to return to some shared view of the world, a shared story, a shared narrative, shared values. Because that's the only way that we're going to be able to surpass, overcome, deal with, and negate all of the minor disagreements that we have in our lives with other people. It's just a really tragic occurrence. There's nothing else to say than that. But there must be something we can take away as individuals from this. To understand how ideology and political division can fuel violence, and how this is something that is never deserved, never justified. Once again, I want to say my prayers go out to him and his family. And I'm sure Charlie Kirk's message, his work, his beliefs, his commitment will not be forgotten by those he has impacted. And the fight for freedom of speech, the fight for open debate, the fight for being able to passionately disagree with somebody but still shake their hand at the same time continues to go on. And let this occurrence, if anything, fuel us to be better people in our everyday lives, be careful of where our actions and our beliefs are leading us, and to never, despite political division, despite demonization of the opposition, pursue them like they're the enemy, like they're something that must be destroyed. We must preserve and maintain their individual human dignity and value as a human being, just like us, which demands a certain amount of respect and decency and dignity in our dealings with that person, regardless of whether we agree with them or not. But that's just what I think we need to take away from this. That's what I think we can work towards taking away from this. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I know this isn't like my normal content, and I don't know why I felt compelled to talk about this. It's just something that in these past few days since the news has surfaced has been playing on my mind quite a lot, and I've been really thinking about it. Because when something this serious happens, we're all forced to think about life in general, about the direction in which we're headed as a world, not just as nations and individuals, as a world, as humanity in general. It seems that the West is no longer the safe haven it was once claimed to be. Or really, was it ever? Rest in peace to Charlie Kirk and his family. Pray for them. Thank you for watching.